everybody. Yes, that was a very weird moment because once again, I've been doing this lately. Yay! Hi, Studio Keiko. Yeah, no, I keep doing this thing where I have my broadcast window in front of my producer window, which is a problem because there's a lag. So yeah, y'all get to see me with a great derpy look on my face. I mean, welcome to the... If you're on the Beading Dream stream for any length of time, you're totally going to see me with a derpy look on my face. Because it's just a state in which I exist frequently. So, hi everybody. Happy Thursday evening. This is not a Torch Thursday. Nor will next week be a Torch Thursday because we are doing 2 weeks of Halloween tutorials. Yes, we are. So this evening's tutorial is a wire wrapping project. This is a wire wrapped pumpkin. Okay, I don't know why, but the word pumpkin has kind of like withdrawn itself from my vocabulary and just been replaced with pumpkin. And I don't really know how I feel about that. Like, so I'm gonna try to replace the N with a and see how it goes. So, oh, and hey, more people, welcome. So yeah, so this evening's tutorial is a wire wrap pumpkin cabochon. So this is actually a wire wrapping tutorial for a stone that doesn't have a hole. Also, Tanya had a question about where's a good place to get wire. Now, of course, my favorite place to get wire is Beading Dreams. Not gonna lie. And no, I don't have a whole lot of wire listed on my Etsy store because I don't really have anything listed on our Etsy store because my cats have not been good at contributing to the business by listing things on Etsy. They're just not, they loaf all day. They loaf. Mamie murders things and Elton murders Q-tips and hair ties, and they don't do anything to help bring income into the household. So I got nothing in my Etsy store, but we do have a pretty wide variety of wire here at the Beading Dreams. So if you message us, we can definitely get you hooked up with some wire. If you're looking for a source that you can just go directly to without having to go through me, Rio Grande, that's RIOGRANDE, riogrande.com. And there comes Dogsy with the, like, cutting my legs out from under me. I do not stock titanium wire, Dogsy, sorry. I stock sterling silver, gold-filled, brass, bronze, copper, craft wire, which is usually coated copper wire, but I do not stock titanium. It's probably something I could special order for you if you don't have a source for it, but if you do currently have a source for it that you order from, it's probably best to just go direct to them. But yeah, if you are looking for a direct source from whom to buy, riogrande.com. They are a really great company. Their customer service is excellent and their product is always good. Also, their return policy is amazing. Ah, dear. What flavor of titanium wire are you looking for, Dogsy? Because I can definitely look into it for you. But yeah, Rio Grande is my go-to for wire. Again, their client service is amazing. Their product is always, in my estimation, absolutely up to the mark. And once again, the return policy is great. I mean, I think it's pretty much straight 30 days if you don't like something, unless it's custom. They'll send you a return label. You can send it back at no cost and get a full refund. So highly recommend them. Okay, so what do we need to have on hand for this evening's tutorial? Ooh, though one could read that comment, Dogsy, as the fact that you are anodizing yourself, which I feel like would be interesting. Though I've seen on some of my wire wrapping groups, I've seen some really cool things where they, they wire wove and wrap something and then anodized it in multiple colors. So cool. Not something that I have any clue how to do. But, okay, so you're looking for 1mm plus titanium wire that you can anodize. Okay, I will look into that and I will have Heather let you know. And I feel like anodizing, well, first of all, I feel like anodizing yourself would be impractical, because doesn't anodizing require immersion? So you'd need a really big beaker to contain an entire human person. And now I just want to know if there's a human-sized beaker that exists on the planet, and I'm sure there is somewhere. Okay, so now my mind's gone down that rabbit hole, but let's talk about what do we need for this evening's tutorial. So we're going to need square wire. This is 20 gauge square, and I'm using bronze 20 gauge square, but you could use any metal. Of course there is. I know, right? Don't eat the beads, don't anodize the humans!
Oh!
Yes!
So many rules! Soylent Green! It's people.
If you're anodizing them, I don't think they'd be green, though. I think, well, they'd be green, and they'd be purple, and pink, and turquoise,
So pretty.
and all of the colors. But right, Keiko? Don't eat the beads, don't anodize the humans. Words to live by. Literally, it's true. Okay, so 20 gauge bronze wire, but if you don't have bronze or you don't want to use bronze, you could absolutely use any 20 gauge square that you happen to have. So sterling silver, gold, filled, brass, bronze, copper, colored, craft, whatever, but 20 gauge square. And I'm going to be using 5 pieces, each of which is about 6 inches long. So it's about 2.5 feet total of my square wire. And I need just a little bit of half round wire to bind everything together at the bottom, about 6 inches. Ideally that would be 20 gauge as well. When I was making my sample, I couldn't find my 20 gauge half round wire, so I actually used filigree wire for that, which I will say did do a solid job of doing the work, but maybe doesn't look quite as neat as I would like. And then of course you need a cabochon. So I have this leopard skin jasper that I used for my sample. For my project tonight, I'm going to use this really pretty tiger iron. So an oval cabochon works best. For the measurements of wire that I am saying, you're going to want to stay with, you know, about 30 millimeters or less in length. And of course the width is going to be smaller than that. Also, auto exposure. Why are you not doing me right here? It's a little dim. If you want to use a bigger cabochon, you absolutely can. You just need to cut more wire. So I'm going to start by cutting myself 5 pieces of my square wire at 6 inches each. I'm sorry, I'm going to be laughing for hours at Don't Anodize the Humans.
Pretty much, yeah.
Alright, so 6 inches per piece. And again, I'm cutting myself 5 of them. So your main challenge when you're working with square wire, I find, is keeping everything flat and together, which means that there is a very important tool that I didn't talk about, which is tape. Okay, Dogsy, I'm gonna go with just maybe don't try and anodize your internal titanium parts. I feel like that would not go well. I mean, it's your body, your choice, but it just doesn't seem wise. Okay, so I'm gonna grab some tape. Oh, how funny story, Heather, about when Charles was here the other day, and you'd have a rainbow on the inside. It's true. So I heard him say, "Where's the painter's tape?" So I told him where the painter's tape was, and he pulls the whole drawer out, which is this drawer here. It's full of hammers, bench blocks, and tape, and he's looking very perplexed. And I'm like, "Charles, are you not finding what you need?" And he's like, "I don't see a tape measure in here." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that was bad information I gave you." Because I heard something different. There are no tape measures in that drawer. Y'all are too funny. Okay, so I've got 5 pieces, 6 inches each. So now what I'm gonna do, but it would be internal pink though. So he would have to have some kind of like, I don't know, like we have to install like a plexi panel or something to like view the, because I'm assuming it's either a rod or a pin or a joint. So, I mean, you have to install some kind of, like, maybe it could be like a window that goes transparent. And oh, it's like kryptonite. She can sense it. Got it. Okay. That's fair. I like that theory better than let's install, you know, plexiglass windows in Dogsy's flesh. Because that's definitely a little creepy. We're going to pretend I didn't say that. Also, speaking of creepy, this is supplies for one of my tutorials for next week. Yes, that is a headless Barbie doll. Stay tuned. Oh my god! I never noticed this when I was a child.
What?
Hold on, I'm going to show Heather. Because I want her reaction. Look at her nethers. Ah, fail.
That was not there.
It wasn't?
No,
okay, so I'm not
no.
crazy.
No.
That's new Barbie.
That.
Okay, so new Barbie has branded
Underpants.
underpanties that are molded on her nethers, and they say Barbie. Barbie, Barbie, Barbie.
They in fact say Barbie, Barbie, Barbie.
They do. Barbie, Barbie, Barbie.
Barbie.
Okay, but thank you all for supporting me in not remembering this from my childhood.
No.
But yeah, the headless Barbie is in fact
No, Barbie has not always been dressed.
part of one of my tutorials for next week.
Really?
Interesting. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten out these pieces of wire because it's going to be much easier to keep them all in line if they're straight instead of this kind of weird curved wobbliness that they have going on right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my chain nose pliers, I'm going to grab on that wire, and I'm just going to pull it out so that it gets as straight as possible. So after a couple of pulls, it's much straighter than it was. So square wire is called square wire for exactly the reason you might think. It has 4 flat sides and 4 corners. The gauge width is actually identical to round wire. It's just shaped differently. Also, if you have a draw plate and you need square wire, you can draw round wire to square, but remember that it's going to draw down. So if you want 20 gauge square wire, you need to start with a larger gauge of round wire, like 18. Also, the drawing process hardens the wire, so if you're trying to use it for wire wrapping, you might need to anneal it before you actually use it, because it's going to get pretty springy. Okay, so I got my 5
Much
pieces.
like the allergies around these parts.
I know, right? The stream sniffles have already hit me, and I've only been streaming for like 20 minutes.
Well, that's not fair.
I agree. I didn't even sleep with my window last night. I forewent the fresh air because of the allergens.
And they still got in.
Well, it might just be from the actual, time I spent outside today. Also, the cackling witch is back to cackling.
Oh.
Okay. All night?
No, not all night, just this morning. So the cackling witch may have designated
All night
cackling
long.
hours now.
All night. All night long.
No cackling witch all night long. No.
But I like to sing.
fine, but it's not a sales stream, so no one has to drink because Heather's singing. You can sing, but I still anti-cackling witch all night long. Just saying. Okay. So now I'm gonna line all these up, and so what I want is I want all of the sides to be flat together. I'm gonna bind them at the middle. So what I'm gonna do is I have a piece of painter's tape that I ripped off. I'm gonna go to one side of the middle, and I'm gonna make a flag. So what that means is I'm gonna stick this down flat to all of these wires, and then I'm gonna fold it over and set it like so. Studio Keiko, what are you learning that's new? Are you learning new things about wire wrapping, or are you just learning new weird things about Heather and I? Just curious. Now I'm going to take my half round 20 gauge wire, and I'm going to cut myself a fairly small. Okay, well, to be fair, Dogsy, I don't have a cricket bat in my house. I do have a broadsword, though. So I feel like that would be equally as effective as a cricket bat.
Yes.
At disabling the witch. But, you know, I don't want to be on
Hi,
neighborly.
Sophia.
Hi, Sophia. I want to be the bitchy neighbor. I mean, I'm already the neighbor that doesn't talk to anybody because I work such weirdo hours that, luckily, so I live in a duplex. My entire cul-de-sac is all duplexes, which is pretty cool. So, oh yay. Sorry. So basically, the woman who lives on the other side of my duplex is elderly, retired, and has nothing to do but talk to people. Like, literally, the wall between our duplex is very thin. Thankfully, it's the living room wall, not the bedroom wall, but she basically talks on the phone like 24 hours a day, talks to everybody, and so then she talks to me. And then she talks about me to other neighbors know me because of her, but I personally am not super neighborly because I will go to work and I go home and then I hide inside my house and I don't want to talk to anybody except my cats because I talk so much at work and on the stream. I'm like, no, silence, cone of silence, dome of silence. Like, this is my fortress of solitude that I am not exiting. So I am not the queen of being neighborly, and I am blessed, I will say, lucky to have such a gregarious next door neighbor who also talks to me so that all my neighbors don't hate me. But I am, you know, definitely, I think, the least engaged neighbor in our entire cul-de-sac. So I don't want to go from just that girl that we never see but is probably kind of nice to that girl who scythed down the cackling witch of the new neighbor in the neighborhood with a broadsword. I feel like that's a demotion. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Everyone would definitely know you.
Yes, but I'm looking for fame, not infamy.
That was well delivered, ma'am.
Thank you. I do have theatrical training. Can't sing for shit, but I do know how to project from a stage. Okay. Continuing on with the actual project that we're doing tonight, I've got my half round wire, about 6 inches of it, and what I'm going to do is just take my chain nose pliers, grab at the end. Ah! Alright. So we're going to bend and make a little hook, and then we're going to go to the side of our tape that's closest to the center. We're going to hook the hook over our wire, and we're going to start wrapping that around, and we're going to bind it around about 4 or 5 times. I'm actually kind of terrified that a new neighbor with all of her Halloween decorations is going to bring trick-or-treaters to our cul-de-sac, because I'm not prepared for trick-or-treaters. Trim that off, and then I'm going to squish my ends down and then clamp everything down with my chain nose. It's true. I just don't want to open my door at all. To be fair, the last time I opened my door, somebody was telling me my cat had been run over by a car.
Oh,
Which was actually very kind of her, because he'd only been hit once as opposed to what could have happened after that. But no, when trick-or-treaters are about, I turn off all the lights and hide in the back of the house, watching TV in the office and just pretend I'm not home. Because I don't do trick-or-treaters. Oh, Keiko, I'm sorry. Yeah, that happened about 3 weeks ago. My baby kitty Ziggy, he was kind of a celebrity on the stream, especially from the actual lockdown times, where I was streaming from my dining room with my 3 cats, of whom Ziggy was one, and he would get on my streaming table and then he would walk on my laptop and he would do things like change the scene of the stream or crash the entire stream. He was known as
Show his bort.
and then yes, when he wasn't crashing the stream, he absolutely loved to show his butthole to the internet. So yes, that was executive producer and porn star Ziggy Stardust, R.I.P. He was killed by a car 3 weeks ago. He was a unique and special soul. I mean, he was kind of an asshole, to be honest, but
we all loved him anyway.
He was my love, and a lot of people loved him from a distance. So yeah, that was difficult. Actually, my neighbors in front of whose house he was hit were super sweet. They came over and got me pretty much immediately, so I didn't have to deal with the potential aftermath of him being hit more times. So thank you, Keiko. It was rough. It's still rough, but I will say, every time I look through pictures of him, like every picture I ever took of him, he looks so happy. Hold on. Now I have to show Ziggy pictures. I promise I'll get back to the tutorial in a minute. But every picture, he looks so freaking happy, and so
he had the best life with you.
I wish I could have given him a longer life, but I don't think I could have given him a better life. So look at that. Look at him. He just was so happy. Can you see? There we go. Focused in. I know, right? He's totally making movies in kitty heaven.
With his bort.
With his butthole. He's absolutely making kitty porn in kitty heaven. No, he was a great boy.
Please, no one clip that. That doesn't sound very good at all.
Yeah, fair. And I miss him with my whole heart, but I'm confident in the fact that I gave him a good life, and at this point, that's pretty much all you can do.
Yes.
Is but he was a very handsome boy. He had, okay, one more picture and then I'm getting back to the tutorial. He had the prettiest eyes. He had these really vibrantly orange pumpkin colored eyes. Carol took that photo of him. So he had beautiful eyes. He was such a pretty boy. So anyway, back to, speaking of pumpkins, let's get back to the tutorial. Alright, so I've got my five wires that are all bound together, and I have crimped is what I mean. Crimp my wires down. So ideally you really don't want them to slide. So I'm going to take my wires now, and what I need to do is I need to bend. I know, he was such a handsome boy. He really was. So I need to bend. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bend the wires essentially in half around this binding, tight, less tight, wider, and then repeat on the back. So holding it this way. This is my first one, so this is the tightest one. So this one's going to come up. Like so. And it's okay to cross them at this point. We'll fix that in a minute. So here's the second one. That is bigger. And then we're going to flip over. We're going to do it on the back. Same way. So the one that's closest to the outside, which is this one, is going to be tightest. And then the next one's going to be a little looser. It's this one. Just kind of find somewhere to shove that wire. Okay, then I'm going to take my cab and I'm going to insert it in there. So what I want is I need 2 wires in front of my cab and 2 wires in the back of my cab. So as long as you didn't get them too twisted up, that shouldn't be difficult. Also, take the price tag crap off of your cab before you wrap it, because otherwise it's going to pretty much be there forever. Because once you get wires over that, it's going to be almost impossible to get it off. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and drop this in here. And ideally we want that to seat right at the bottom. We're going to hold everything. And then I'm going to take my outsides and I'm going to bend them around the outside of my cabochon. 1 and 2. Okay, so that's my basic structure. Now I have to neaten it up and secure it all. Aww. Well, thank you, Dogsy. It's, you know, it's always hard losing a pet, and I've lost 3 now in my adult life. We had cats growing up. So, you know, there have been several pets that were family pets that have been lost through the years, but now as far as like my pets, like as an adult, like these are my fur babies. I've lost 3, and it's, everyone's different and none of them are easy. Yeah, so like my heart goes out to you for losing Fudge, because that's just terrible. And it's interesting, like making the decision versus having the decision made for you, and how that affects your emotional processing. Because, you know, for 2 of my pets, I did have them euthanized because they were in failing health, you know, but then Ziggy was in perfectly good health, and then he was just killed. It's interesting. It's it's difficult no matter what. So my heart goes out to anyone on the stream who's ever lost a pet, and hug your fur babies tonight, because you never know what tomorrow holds. So now I've got my pumpkin, which at the top is a hot freaking mess. Look at that. So now we need to start sorting out all of these wires, and the ideal is we want all these wires to meet and go straight up. So how do we do that? Chain nose pliers. We're going to take them and we're going to start just grabbing our wires and bending them straight up, like so. See how that one down there has a jog that makes it go straight up? So we're going to just keep doing that with all of our wires, so that we can pull them all together at the top. Also, yay for new pets, yay for new kittens and cats. Like, I really, you know, everyone grieves differently after Ziggy died. Like, I thought I was gonna wait for a while before getting another pet, but I just couldn't. I could not be a 1-cat household, and so, like, literally the next week he was killed on Wednesday, and I was at the shelter next week Tuesday. Hi, Corvus. Keiko, you're hilarious. I mean, okay, so to be fair, this shit is something you have to practice, okay? This is something that you get good at through practice. It's not, I mean, do you know how awful and horrifying I was at this when I first tried it like 15 years ago? I was so bad. I was so bad. And you really have to, this is really wire wrapping. And anybody out there on the stream who is a wire wrapper, you can definitely chime in with support or rebuttal of my remarks, but I really feel like wire wrapping is one of those things where the only way out is through. You have to make ugly crap in order to make pretty stuff. It's just the way it works. I mean, that's fair, Dogsy. Like, even I wish my hands were even smaller and daintier sometimes. And this is where tools help, okay? Tools are the ensmallment of your hands. Just saying. Okay, so this is the front of my pumpkin, and this is the back of my pumpkin, so I'm pretty assured that it's not going to fall out. So now what I have to do is I got to secure this all in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it all, and if you have trouble holding it all, literally grab your painter's tape and just tape the crap out of this while you're wrapping. I'm gonna try and just go it with my fingies, and I'm gonna find one wire that feels like it feels like it's not gonna mess everything up when I wrap it around. So I'm gonna go ahead, and this one wins. It doesn't really matter which wire you pick, so pick the one where you're like, okay, I can see this as wrapping around and not destroying everything. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to wrap it around, and I need a little bit more leverage, so I am going to grab my chain nose pliers, and I want to wrap that around everything nice and tight. And what that's going to do is it's going to secure everything in place. Ooh, what did I just do there? That was bad. That was not acceptable. Bear with me while I fix my screw up off stream. Or off camera. Okay, better. So my pliers slipped and I made this weird little kind of bobble in my wire, but I'm just gonna go with it at this point. Okay, so this was my first binding. So I'm going to go around a couple times. Ah, that's awesome lobstering. I love it. Okay, so I've gone around a couple times. That's enough to secure everything. So at this point, I'm done with this wire. This wire can get cut off. Now it's time to make a bail. So I'm going to make a really over-the-top rabbit ear bail here. So I'm going to make a bail that's kind of flared out. But I'm going to go ahead and use all of these wires to do it. So what I need to do is I kind of need to just bend them out and put them in a line. And I need to make sure that that is down. Get down there. Thank you. There. So I'm just going to bend these out in a line. So as a theater person, I am lucky enough to have two high school friends who are working makeup artists right now in New York. And so one of them is doing 31 days of Halloween and just posting all of the cool Halloween, you know, makeup builds she's done in the past. And like, it's amazing. I just have to... This is also my friend who works on TV shows, and does a lot of gore makeup. That's one of her specialties. And so she's the one who I'll get on my feed and I'll see this, all of a sudden I'll be scrolling, and I'll see this incredibly like gore filled like bloody thing, and I'm like, oh my god, what the heck? And I'm like, oh wait, that's Stella. Okay, that's fake gore. But her Halloween things are just freaking amazing. Like, check that one out. And that guy actually went to the Halloween party and got a picture with Bette Midler, who is one of Stella's favorite people on the planet. She's just so incredibly talented. It's ridiculous. Where's the sideshow? Also, just, you know, beautiful face paint. A lot of Dia de los Muertos. Okay, this is the one that I think is so cool. This was for a sideshow thing. Like, check that out. Obviously, the head on the head is a prosthetic, but look at that. It's so amazing. I'm so lucky to have such cool people in my life. And this one, also amazing. So yeah, she's freaking fantastic. And I've been very much enjoying her 31 days of Halloween makeup posts. Alright, so now I'm going to do my veil. So I have spread all of these out. Now I'm going to grab something that is a cylinder that I can bend all these around. So survey says I have a crochet hook. I believe it was, yes. Yes. It was. Yeah, so amazing. Interesting, a lot of my high school friends, you know, all of whom were in the theater department, which mostly focused on acting, and none of whom actually went into acting. I know, you know, successful makeup designers and artists, talent agents, you know, technical theater designers, but no actors, interestingly. Alright, so now I'm going to take my cylindrical object and I'm going to take this fabulous fanned out bunch of wire I have and I'm going to bend it all over my cylindrical object, and this is going to be my bail. So now what I have to do is I got to bring this all together and I got to bring it back in. And to bring it back in, I'm going to take my pliers and I'm just going to give it all a bend to help it kind of come together. And then I'm going to pick another wire, a long one. So this is the longest one. And I'm going to once again go around and I'm going to bind everything nice and tightly together, which of course is going to cause some wackiness to happen with the bail. This is where I'm going to grab my round nose and just kind of get in there and sort everything out, make everything smooth and even, like so. Now that I've got my bail secured, I've got my pumpkin and my cabochon secured. Ooh, but do I? Oh, intrigue. Yeah, we're going to put that back where it goes and move that back to the outside. There we go. All right, and now I have the rest of these, and these are going to become my little pumpkin curly cues. So I'm just going to take all the rest of my wires, and I'm just going to one by one bring them around to the front, grab my round nose, and just roll them up for decoration. So I will say, Halloween is not my favorite holiday. It's my second favorite holiday. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. But I do love, I've always loved Halloween. I've always loved dressing up. So I really enjoy all of the pageantry around Halloween. It makes me very, very happy in my heart. Corvus, what are you gasping at? Oh, that Halloween's not my favorite I'm sorry. I like to eat more than I like to dress up, okay? But it's my second favorite holiday. Does that count for anything? Or have you just disowned me, Corvus? Also, interesting fact, so if you've gotten a little wonky on the back here, you can also take one of these wires and you can use it to reinforce. So I could use that to reinforce and wrap around down here if I wanted to. I think I'm okay. I don't think I'm gonna need to reinforce, but oh Lord, Corvus, please don't. I love Halloween. I'm dressing as a raven, for goodness sakes. I just like food a little bit more, okay? Heather, Corvus is threatening to disown us because Halloween's not...
Don't you disown me. I didn't say anything about Thanksgiving being my favorite. I don't eat meat.
So I've got Heather. Yeah, she's my token Halloween-ophile? I don't know. I love Halloween. I also just really love eating food, which is what Thanksgiving is all about. So I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry to betray your trust like this. That's funny. Halloween is great. I love Halloween. Even if it's not my favorite, I still love it. Everyone, please don't be mad at me. I'll make it up to you with my raven costume and makeup on Halloween. Okay, so I've taken all of my little bits and I've curled them into my little pumpkins. This one is too short. So all I'm gonna do is just curl that one flat on the back, like so. No replace. Let's just all be friends. Can't we be an accepting community of the, you know, Halloween people and the also Halloween people? Just not as much Halloween people? I mean, come on. Also, I do feel like a hearse would be a very feasible vehicle for hauling cargo or busting ghosts. So that's it. That's our wire wrap pumpkin, people. We did it. I did it. I managed to survive the stream despite Corvus's displeasure, which I feel like is coming at me with the wrath of 1,000 suns. But yeah, we did it. Thank you, Keiko. I get a pass for 2 weeks of Halloween tutorials, and next week are even more like Halloween-y than this week's. Oh, thank you, Corvus. Okay, so what? A Jaguar twin turbo V8 hearse? Seriously? I mean, Dogsy, I need to see this. You know, and once again, I mean, Keiko, it's not that complicated. It takes a little practice to get the finessing of it, and you're going to make some really ugly stuff, but don't be afraid to try it. Really don't be afraid to try it, because the only way you get better is by doing it. So thank you all so much for hanging out for our second day of 2 weeks of Halloween for our wire wrapped pumpkin tutorial. Tomorrow night is Freeform Friday, so that means that it's not a tutorial per se. I'm going to pick some random project, hopefully Halloween related, and I'm going to do it start to finish on stream. I'm not clear quite yet if I'm going to be streaming from here or from home, but either way, it's going to be a good time. So don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 6 p.m. for Freeform Friday, because nobody knows, including me, what the heck I'm going to be doing. And then, of course, those are my, see, Keiko, those are my favorite kind of tutorials. The ones that look difficult, but really aren't. Best thing ever. So don't forget to tune in tomorrow, twitch.tv/Beading Dream for Freeform Friday, and then Saturday we will be back with the third tutorial in our 2 weeks of Halloween, which is our wire spider pendant and another live merchandise sale. So thank you all so much for hanging out on the Beading Dream stream this Thursday evening. Have a great night, and I will see y'all back on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream, tomorrow at 6. Thank you all so much. Bye!